G'day folks, how are we? Just thought I'd give an update on 3 knives that I've made here. I've made a kitchen trio, so I hadn't done 3 before, but thought it might be time. So here we go. We've got first one here, which is Giotto style. It's blade length's about 8 inches or just over 200 mil. I think it's about 210 all up, with a rosewood handle. I'll show you all 3 first. Then a little utility knife there, and then paring knife to finish off. So nice little trio. Just want to talk through why I've built the 3 knives as a set, because I don't make a lot of knives, but I just want to make sure that I make the right ones and that they match well together. So the first one here, it's the blade's in the shape of like a Japanese Giotto knife, but the handle is more of a Western style handle. The steel I've chosen for this is, all the other knives I've made so far have been high carbon steels, like either 52-100 or 1084. This one I chose, it's a stainless Damascus, Aichi Aus-10 Stainless Damascus, which it does look beautiful. You can see the patterns in there, but it's also still got a cut. So the heat treatment is very important. I actually sent this away to get it heat treated just because I didn't want to ruin the steel. From Tim from Aus Supplies, it's come back very nice. With the patterns in it, with the stainless Damascus, you can see the cores a slightly different colour to the outside. And for those who don't know about Damascus, all it is different layers of steel that are forge welded together. And so when you grind it away, you end up with this nice pattern. This one's been etched in hydrochloric acid, just to give it that final look. With these knives, I've made sure that, well, I did want them to look beautiful, they're still very functional. So this original stock was 2.5 mil thick, but I've ground it down to quite fine behind the edge. A bit hard to see there, but nice and fine behind the edge, but still some decent thickness around the spine, just to give it some nice strength. So it'll still be a nice strong knife, but should slice very well. This one here, you can see it's not quite as high. It's a little bit shorter, and I've actually ground that even more thin than the last one. It's a very nice slicey knife, and probably the sharpest out of the 3. I tried to get them all about the same sharpness, but for some reason this one just came up better. This I've designed as a utility knife, so rather than having a big chef's knife, this one's a good in-between knife, used for anything and everything. Very good at slicing, this one, because of the edge geometry on that. And lastly, the little paring knife with about 100 mil blade. Because it's a bit shorter, it feels a little bit more stocky, but again, probably similar blade geometry as far as the grind goes to the larger Giotto knife, but just because it's a small knife, it didn't get any less attention. Still just as important, and will be very useful, particularly for fruits and vegetables and smaller jobs. With my handle shape, I've gone for something quite simple. As you can see, I've put a little groove in there just so comfortable for the fingers to fit in. And the handles aren't exactly symmetrical because I've hand ground them, but I've made sure with each of them that they're very comfortable to hold. So you can either hold in a pinch grip that feels comfortable for that, or further back, depending on what you're doing and what your style is. The handles here, this is Queensland blue gum. It's actually from a branch from our property here that had fallen down about 5 years ago, and originally I'd cut it with a chainsaw to chop up for firewood, but I couldn't split it by hand because it was too hard. And then when I started making knives, I had a look at it and thought, oh, I should just cut it up. And because it was part of such a twisted branch, it's got really nice figure in it, so it's almost like a little marble pattern there, which is quite beautiful. So yeah, the process with the handles, they just starts off as a piece of timber, cut up something like that. This is another bit. This is a bit of iron bark that came off our place that you know, cut it up with a chainsaw and then finish it on the bandsaw. So I'll start with that, and then yeah, shape them up on the bandsaw and then put them on the grinder so I get some nice little contours. And then finish them at about 600 grit sandpaper, and then finish it with some Fitty's hard wax oil, which I find gives it a really nice natural finish. It doesn't feel plasticky, but still protects the timber quite well. Yeah, and so anyway, the blades, I'll just go back to that. The finish on those, I take them up to a 1200 grit before the etch, and then after the etch, take it out and wash it, and then I actually use a product called Custom Grit, which I got off Ant for the woodworking, and I polish up the handles and the blades with the Custom Grit to get that nice, really clean finish on them. So that's how they are. So yeah, got all three finished off and done. Nice little trio. Yeah, not the biggest knife set in the world, but should be very useful in a kitchen.